Navigating relationships can be challenging, especially when we encounter behaviors that start to erode trust and emotional safety. In today's video, we're diving into some critical red flags that may signal an unhealthy dynamic in a partnership. From accusations of cheating to a lack of accountability, these behaviors can have a profound impact on your emotional well-being. We'll explore how to recognize these warning signs and what steps you can take to protect your happiness and personal growth. Relationships should be built on trust, respect, and open communication, but when those foundations are shaken, it's time to reassess. Let's get started and understand what these red flags really mean. 1. It's always about her. In any relationship, balance is key. If you find that your partner is always turning the conversation back to herself, it can feel like you're invisible, like your own life and achievements don't matter. Imagine you just landed a new job, a huge milestone that you've been working towards for months. You're excited, eager to share this achievement with someone who's supposed to be your closest confidant. But instead of celebrating with you, she's distracted, scrolling on her phone, or redirecting the conversation to her latest drama at work. It stings, doesn't it? That feeling of being unseen, like your triumphs are insignificant. Now, a healthy relationship should be about lifting each other up. It's not just about waiting for the other person to share their news, it's about actively listening, showing interest, and being truly happy for their success. Think about a time when someone really listened to you, when they took the time to understand your excitement or your struggles. How did that make you feel? That's what true partnership is about, sharing moments, both big and small, with someone who values your experiences as much as their own. When someone consistently disregards your feelings or only focuses on their own life, it creates a one-sided dynamic. It starts to feel like you're living in a constant state of emotional imbalance. Relationships are supposed to be about mutual support. When one person is always the center of attention, it leaves the other feeling drained and overlooked. Have you ever felt like you were giving your all, but never getting much in return? It's exhausting. This isn't to say that relationships should be perfect or free of conflict, but balance is everything. You should be able to share your wins without worrying that they'll be overshadowed by your partner's latest obsession. You deserve to be seen, heard, and valued. And in turn, so does your partner. It's about creating a space where both of you feel equal in the relationship, where both your victories are celebrated with the same excitement. So, next time you share something important with your partner, take a moment to notice their reaction. Are they genuinely interested in what you're saying, or are they distracted? True partnership is about creating that emotional connection, where both people feel equally invested, supported, and celebrated. If that's missing, it might be time to reevaluate where things are headed. Remember, a relationship should bring out the best in both people, not just one. 2. I'm busy right now. We all know that life gets busy, but when work or other commitments constantly take priority over your relationship, it's easy to start feeling neglected. Picture this: after a long day at work, you're looking forward to spending some quality time with your partner, maybe watching a movie or simply talking about your day. But instead, she's glued to her phone, answering emails or finishing work that could easily wait. You can't help but wonder, am I not important enough for her to put everything down and focus on us? That feeling, that quiet sense of being pushed aside, is one of the first signs that something's off. Look, we all have responsibilities, but there needs to be a balance. A healthy relationship isn't just about showing up physically, it's about showing up emotionally, too. It's about carving out time, no matter how hectic life gets, to connect with the person you care about. Think back to a time when you felt truly connected with someone, when the world seemed to pause for a moment, and you could just be present with each other. That's what we need more of, those moments of genuine connection. When your partner is constantly too busy to engage with you, it can feel like you're not a priority in their life. And let's be honest, no one wants to feel like they're always at the bottom of the to-do list. Relationships thrive on effort, on quality time together. It's the little things, laughing together over a silly joke, sharing your thoughts without distractions, having those deep conversations that make you feel seen and understood. Without those moments, the relationship can start to feel one-sided and, over time, that can create a lot of emotional distance. Now, it's important to understand that everyone's busy. Life demands our attention, but there's a difference between being busy and constantly avoiding connection. If your partner truly values you in the relationship, they'll find a way to prioritize you, to make space for you, even in the busiest times. It's about intentionality, choosing each other, even when life is pulling you in different directions. If you feel like your partner's busy schedule is taking a toll on your connection, it might be time for a heart-to-heart. Relationships don't thrive on neglect, they grow on the effort we put into them. Don't let work or distractions steal away the most important thing, the time and attention you both deserve. 3. My ex used to do that. There's something unsettling about hearing, "My ex used to do that." It's a simple phrase, but it can carry a weight that disrupts the foundation of your relationship. Imagine you've planned a special evening for just the two of you, and in the middle of the night, she casually mentions how her ex used to do the same thing, only better. Suddenly, instead of feeling appreciated, you feel like you're playing second fiddle to someone who isn't even part of the picture anymore. That comparison, though subtle, is a sign that something deeper is at play. When someone keeps bringing up their ex, it's hard not to wonder if they've truly moved on. It's like trying to build a new life while still holding on to pieces of the past. The truth is, when your partner continues to compare you to their ex, it erodes the trust and emotional safety that should exist between you two. Trust is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, and when it's shaken by constant comparisons, it becomes harder to feel secure in your place. You might start questioning, "Am I good enough?" or "Will I ever measure up?" But here's the thing, relationships are about building something new, something unique between two people. When your partner keeps looking back, it creates a barrier to that growth. It's as if you're competing with a ghost, something that's already gone but still has a hold on her. This comparison pulls you away from the present, making it difficult to fully invest in the relationship you're currently in. Now, this isn't to say that your partner's past doesn't matter. We all come with history, and it shapes who we are. However, when that history starts to overshadow the present, it's time to address it. If someone can't stop talking about their ex, it might mean they haven't fully healed or aren't ready to commit to something new. And that's not fair to you. If you find yourself constantly compared to her past, it might be time to have a candid conversation. Ask her about it, not from a place of anger, but from a desire to understand. Make it clear that you want to be seen for who you are, not through the lens of someone else. After all, a healthy relationship is built on the present and the future, not the past. If she can't let go, you may need to reassess whether this relationship can truly grow. You deserve someone who sees you, fully and completely, without looking over their shoulder at what came before. 4. It's your fault. There's nothing more frustrating than being in a relationship where everything seems to fall on your shoulders, especially when your partner refuses to take responsibility for her actions. Imagine having a disagreement, one that's completely normal in any relationship, but instead of owning up to her part, she shifts the blame onto you. "It's your fault," she says, even though you know you didn't do anything wrong. Suddenly, you're not just dealing with the issue at hand, you're left carrying the weight of guilt and responsibility that isn't even yours. It's draining, and over time, it can make you feel like you're walking on eggshells, never knowing when you'll be blamed for something that's not your fault. This kind of behavior doesn't just lead to arguments, it creates a toxic cycle. When one person refuses to acknowledge their mistakes and always points the finger, it builds resentment. You start to feel like no matter what you do, it won't be good enough. And if you're constantly apologizing for things you didn't do, you begin to lose yourself in the relationship. The balance of accountability, the mutual responsibility for resolving conflict, gets completely thrown out of whack. Healthy relationships are built on trust, communication, and, importantly, accountability. It's about both partners taking responsibility for their actions and owning up to mistakes when they happen. Think about it. When was the last time your partner sincerely apologized for something they did wrong? Was it followed by genuine reflection and an effort to make things better? Or was it dismissed as something trivial, or worse, ignored altogether? When someone refuses to apologize, it's not just about a simple misunderstanding, it signals a deeper issue in the relationship. It suggests a lack of emotional maturity and an unwillingness to engage in the hard work of resolving conflict. Relationships require both people to acknowledge their mistakes and work together to fix them. Without that, resentment builds, and the emotional connection weakens. If one person constantly deflects and refuses to share in that responsibility, the relationship becomes unbalanced and unhealthy. So, if you find yourself in a situation where your partner never takes responsibility and always blames you, it's time to take a step back and evaluate the relationship. Have an honest conversation about the importance of accountability. It's okay to stand firm in your own emotional integrity and expect the same from her. Relationships should help both people grow, not drag one down. If she's unwilling to recognize her own faults, it might be time to ask if this relationship is truly worth continuing. You deserve a partner who will stand by you in both the good times and the tough ones, taking responsibility for their actions and building a healthier dynamic together. 5. Pointing out flaws. We all need feedback in a relationship, no one's perfect, and we can all use a little help in becoming better versions of ourselves. But when your partner constantly points out your flaws or belittles your dreams, it's like a weight on your shoulders that never goes away. Imagine sharing a new idea with your partner, something you're excited about, only to be met with criticism or a dismissive comment. Instead of feeling encouraged, you feel deflated, like your hopes and aspirations don't matter. Over time, this constant negativity can chip away at your self-esteem and make you question your worth in the relationship. Constructive criticism is important, don't get me wrong. We all need someone who can point out areas we can improve, but there's a huge difference between constructive feedback and constant negativity. When your partner constantly criticizes you, it stops being about helping you grow and starts feeling like they're trying to tear you down. You might start feeling like you're never good enough, no matter how hard you try, and that's a dangerous place to be in. Think about it. Healthy relationships should feel like a safe space where both people can be their authentic selves, flaws and all. Instead of focusing on the negatives, a good partner uplifts you, supports your growth, and helps you build confidence. They cheer you on when you pursue new goals and encourage you when you stumble. But if the dynamic is all about pointing out what's wrong with you, it leaves little room for personal growth and happiness. The constant barrage of criticism doesn't just hurt your self-esteem, it harms the relationship as well. A relationship where one person is always putting the other down isn't one based on love and respect. It's a relationship where fear of judgment can replace trust and emotional safety. And when trust is lost, so is the foundation of the partnership. So, if you're in a relationship where criticism outweighs encouragement, it's time to reconsider. You deserve to be with someone who lifts you up, not someone who constantly reminds you of your shortcomings. Talk to your partner about how their words affect you, and see if they're willing to make an effort to create a more supportive environment. Relationships should help you become the best version of yourself, not make you feel small. If the negativity continues, you may need to ask yourself if this is a relationship that truly nurtures your happiness and growth. 6. I have no one else. There's something deeply flattering about being someone's go-to person for emotional support. It feels good to be needed, to know that you're there for them when they need you most. But when your partner starts relying solely on you for all their emotional stability, it can create an unhealthy dependency that takes a toll on both of you. Imagine your partner calling you every time they're upset, expecting you to have all the answers or provide constant reassurance, even for things that are beyond your ability to fix. While you want to help, the pressure can be overwhelming. You're not a therapist, you're their partner, and there's a fine line between offering support and becoming their emotional crutch. It's natural to want to be there for the person you love, but when the responsibility of their mental well-being falls entirely on your shoulders, it becomes unsustainable. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? The weight of constantly being the one to pick them up emotionally, without any relief, can leave you feeling drained, frustrated, and even resentful. At some point, you might begin to wonder, what about my needs? Who's there for me when I'm struggling? A healthy relationship requires both partners to maintain their own emotional balance and to support each other, but it can't be one-sided. When your partner relies on you for everything, it's important to recognize the need for boundaries. Boundaries don't mean shutting them out, they mean taking care of yourself while still being there for them. It's about encouraging your partner to seek professional help if needed, because, as much as you may want to be their rock, you're not trained to handle everything. A therapist or counselor can provide the support they need in ways that you can't. Sometimes, the best way to help your partner is to guide them towards seeking professional assistance. It's not about abandoning them, but about helping them gain the tools they need to cope with their emotions more effectively. Encouraging this kind of growth can ultimately strengthen the relationship. After all, if both partners are healthy, the relationship will be, too. If you find yourself in a situation where your partner is emotionally relying on you too much, it's okay to have a conversation about it. Set those boundaries in a loving, compassionate way and help them understand that taking care of their mental health is something that needs to be a shared responsibility, not just yours. Supporting their journey towards seeking professional help will allow both of you to grow as individuals, making your relationship even stronger and more balanced in the long run. 7. It was nothing serious. Infidelity, no matter how it's downplayed, is one of the most painful betrayals in a relationship. Imagine hearing your partner say, "It was nothing serious," after being caught in a compromising situation. It's like they're trying to diminish what just happened, but the emotional impact is anything but small. That phrase, "it was nothing serious," tries to sweep the hurt under the rug, as if it can be brushed off. But the reality is, betrayal shakes the very foundation of trust, and once trust is broken, it's incredibly hard to rebuild. You start questioning everything, the love, the commitment, and your worth in the relationship. We all know that trust is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. When it's betrayed, even in small ways, it leaves a scar that's difficult to ignore. "It was nothing serious" is an attempt to minimize the damage, but the truth is, it's not the size of the betrayal that matters, it's the fact that the trust between you was violated. Trust isn't a fragile thing that can just be repaired with a few reassuring words. It's a deep emotional connection that takes time and consistency to build, and once broken, it requires immense effort to heal. When infidelity happens, it's crucial to address it head-on, not sweep it under the rug. You have every right to feel hurt, confused, and angry, and those feelings should be validated. Ignoring the betrayal and pretending like it wasn't a big deal can only cause further damage. Instead of allowing it to fester, it's essential to have an open and honest conversation about what happened, why it happened, and what both of you need to move forward. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, a relationship affected by infidelity may need to end for the emotional well-being of both parties. It's not about giving up, it's about recognizing when the damage is too deep to repair. If you find yourself in a situation where your partner is downplaying infidelity, it's important to take a step back and evaluate your feelings. You deserve a relationship built on honesty and trust, and if your partner isn't willing to acknowledge the seriousness of the situation, you may need to reassess whether this relationship is right for you. Staying in a relationship where betrayal isn't fully addressed only prolongs the emotional pain and prevents both partners from healing. It's a difficult decision, but sometimes letting go is the only way to protect your own heart and move forward. 8. Being too sensitive. There's nothing more dismissive than hearing someone tell you, "You're just being too sensitive." Imagine sharing your feelings, something that's been weighing on your heart, and instead of being met with understanding or empathy, your partner brushes it off like it's no big deal. It can feel like your emotions don't matter, like you're being overdramatic for simply wanting to be heard. But here's the thing, your feelings are valid, and they deserve to be acknowledged. When someone minimizes your emotions, they're not just ignoring you, they're showing a lack of empathy and respect for your emotional well-being. We all experience emotions, and we all have moments when we feel hurt or misunderstood. A healthy relationship thrives on the ability to be vulnerable and open with each other, especially when times are tough. When your partner tells you that you're too sensitive, it creates a wall between you, making it harder to share openly and work through the challenges together. It feels like a rejection of your feelings, and over time, that can lead to emotional distance in the relationship. Think about a time when you've been hurt or upset, and instead of being comforted, you were told you were overreacting. How did that make you feel? It probably didn't make you feel heard, understood, or supported. Instead, it may have made you feel like your emotions were an inconvenience. In a healthy relationship, both partners should honor each other's emotions, whether they agree with them or not. It's about creating a safe space where both of you feel comfortable expressing yourselves without fear of being belittled or dismissed. No one is too sensitive for simply having emotions. Everyone experiences things differently, and what might not seem like a big deal to one person could be deeply hurtful to another. Instead of dismissing someone's feelings, a supportive partner should try to understand why those feelings exist and work through them together. This is what builds trust, respect, and deeper emotional connection in a relationship. If you find that your partner is constantly dismissing your emotions as too sensitive, it's time to have a conversation about how that makes you feel. Be clear about how important it is for both of you to honor each other's emotions and create a space where vulnerability is met with empathy, not judgment. Relationships are meant to be a team effort, and when you work through challenges together, it strengthens the bond and creates a deeper, more fulfilling connection. 9. Obey me. When a partner starts demanding that you sacrifice your personal freedoms, friendships, or activities to please them, it's a red flag. Imagine you've made plans with your friends or you have a hobby that's important to you, but your partner insists you cancel everything just to spend time with her, or worse, makes you feel guilty for doing something you enjoy without her. It's not about wanting to be close, it's about control. In a healthy relationship, mutual support means encouraging each other to grow individually while also coming together as a team. But when one person tries to control the other's choices, it crosses a boundary. The desire to spend time together is natural, but when it turns into demands that infringe on your autonomy, it becomes unhealthy. A partner who expects you to choose between them and your own life doesn't respect your individuality. Everyone deserves to have their own space, their own interests, and the freedom to make choices without feeling like they're constantly under someone's thumb. This kind of behavior can be emotionally exhausting, and over time, it may make you feel like you're losing yourself in the relationship. Think about your own passions, your friendships, and the activities that bring you joy. If your partner's demands start to isolate you from those things, it's not love, it's control. Healthy relationships are built on respect, not on one person dictating the terms of the other's life. It's about supporting each other's growth, not making the other feel small or limited. When both people can maintain their own sense of self while coming together to share moments and create memories, the relationship thrives. If your partner starts issuing ultimatums or demanding that you give up aspects of your life for them, it's important to recognize this behavior for what it is: controlling. It may be subtle at first, disguised as care or concern, but it's ultimately a violation of your autonomy. Having open, honest conversations about boundaries is key. You should never feel like you have to sacrifice your freedom or your well-being for someone else's comfort. If this controlling behavior continues, it's essential to assess whether this relationship is truly serving you. A healthy partnership should respect your independence, your friends, your passions, and the things that make you, you. If your partner can't respect that, then it may be time to take a step back and reevaluate the dynamic. Remember, love is about balance, not control. 10. You are cheating. There's something deeply damaging about being accused of cheating without any proof. It creates an atmosphere of suspicion and doubt, even if you've done nothing wrong. Imagine you're just going about your day, living your life, when suddenly your partner accuses you of infidelity. The hurt and confusion you feel can be overwhelming, because not only do you have to defend yourself, but you're also left questioning the trust in your relationship. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, and baseless accusations only make it harder. When accusations are thrown without any evidence, it doesn't just attack your character, it shakes the foundation of the entire relationship. The constant pressure to prove your loyalty can lead to emotional exhaustion. You may start wondering, if they don't trust me, then what's left of this relationship? And that feeling, the feeling of being constantly questioned and doubted, erodes the emotional safety that every relationship needs to thrive. Healthy relationships are built on trust, and trust is established through consistent communication and actions. If your partner has concerns or insecurities, it's important to address them openly, without resorting to unfounded accusations. Instead of accusing, a more productive approach would be to ask questions, share fears, and communicate openly about feelings. But when accusations come without foundation, it can signal deeper issues of mistrust that need to be addressed before they can destroy the connection you have. If you find that the accusations of cheating keep coming up, even after reassurances, it's time to have an honest conversation about trust. Persistent mistrust might indicate that the underlying issues in the relationship are deeper than a simple misunderstanding. If this cycle continues without resolution, it might be time to seriously evaluate whether this relationship is right for you. No one deserves to be in a relationship where they're constantly defending themselves against unfounded suspicions. In relationships, communication is key, but trust is essential. If those are broken, it's not just about proving your loyalty, it's about recognizing that something in the dynamic has shifted. You deserve to be in a relationship where trust is mutual and both partners feel safe to be themselves without the constant fear of being accused. Trust building, transparency, and respect are the only ways to overcome these issues, and if those aren't possible, it might be time to reassess the future of the relationship. As we've explored today, unhealthy relationship behaviors like constant criticism, distrust, and emotional manipulation can have lasting effects on your well-being. Recognizing these signs early is essential for maintaining a healthy and fulfilling partnership. Remember, you deserve a relationship where you feel valued, heard, and respected. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more insights on navigating relationships and personal growth. Share this video with someone who might need a reminder about the importance of healthy boundaries and communication. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. What behaviors do you think are red flags in relationships? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay true to yourself and keep building relationships that lift you up.